Ladies and gentlemen, it's with a heavy heart that I inform you that Mitt Romney, yes, Mittens himself, is sickened by President Trump's behavior. If only we were all so moral and upright and rigid and stiff and straightforward and honest as Mittens. He is sickened. He's sickened by the Mueller report. So Vox, of course, is very happy that Mittens was possibly nauseous from the Mueller report. Mitt Romney is sickened by Trump administration's dishonesty. Oh, I'm sorry. Does Mittens have any thought on Hillary Clinton deleting 30,000+ emails, deleting subpoenaed emails, transferring top secret and special access program intelligence outside of the United States government with intent on servers running on Microsoft Exchange Microsoft Exchange software, while at the same time deceiving both the FBI and the public about information classified, marked classified. She never sent or received information classified. The whole thing was a cover-up. Then we found, maybe Mittens took a long look at Uma Abedin's laptop with her wonderful husband. And then the classified intelligence found there. Maybe Mittens is okay with Andrew McCabe under criminal investigation, specifically for lying under oath with intent to deceive, because his wife got $800,000 total from Terry McAuliffe, a Clinton money man. Maybe Mittens read the Steele dossier that said bodily fluids rained down upon Trump, and he was just so upset. He wished that he was that person. But Mitt Romney is sickened by the Trump administration's dishonesty. Oh, really? I'm so sorry. Oh, gee, that's so... Oh, Lord. Why does that always happen? I'm so upset that Mitt Romney is upset. He writes this hilarious. It's good news. It's good news there was insufficient evidence to charge the president. Okay, number one, don't ever, ever, ever allow anyone to say insufficient evidence. The evidence was purchased by Clinton. It was the Steele dossier where she actually paid Russian sources to find dirt on Trump. Notice how dirt on Trump's like no problem. They don't care about dirt on Trump for some reason. They can just shovel as much dirt as possible on the orange madman, and it's okay. But dirt on Hillary, Snow White has dirt on her. Oh, you paid for Natalia Veselnitskaya, Trump Jr. meeting dirt on Hillary. If Trump Jr. got her emails, which he should have obtained, it would have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. We already know now that China hacked Clinton's emails. But it would have proven that her emails were hacked. They don't even when they try to fabricate things, it still leads back to Clinton's criminality. But the Steele dossier was purchased, outsourced by the Democratic Party and Clinton, with money funneled through her law firm to pay Fusion GPS, who met before and after with Natalia Veselnitskaya during the Trump Jr. meeting, which was a setup, as was the Papadopoulos meeting, which was a joke. Alexander Downer has direct ties to the Clinton Foundation, but they paid an MI6 agent to compile a bunch of nonsense from Russian sources, allegedly, about dirt on Trump. What kind of devious, insidious, pathetic imbeciles would try to create a new Cold War with an adversary we once had? Even President Obama said the Cold War is over. The 80s want their foreign policy back. So Mittens is upset. Oh, poor Mittens. Is Mittens upset? Sorry, Mittens. It's good news that there was insufficient evidence. There was no evidence at all. It was made up. The whole thing was fabricated. They set him up, and then they covered up Clinton's actual crimes. But anyway, It's good news that there was insufficient evidence to charge, this is Mittens, to charge President of the United States with having conspired with a foreign adversary or with having obstructed justice. So he admits that there's no, he actually admits there's no obstruction, and he obviously concedes there's no collusion. The alternative would have taken us through a wrenching process with the potential for constitutional crisis. Gee, Mittens, that's really amazing insight. The business of government can move on. Thank you. Well, now we can... Sorry. Oh, quote, even so, I am sickened. Oh, why don't you take a Tylenol, Mittens? I am sickened at the extent and pervasiveness of dishonesty and misdirection by individuals in the highest office of the land, including the president. Oh, really? So, if you were set up by these people, you wouldn't fight back? That's interesting. Trump should have fired Mueller. Then, when they said, oh my God, you obstructed justice, he could simply say, I did not. There was no crime that I'm accused of committing. And furthermore, this thing is completely illegal. I will declassify everything I need to. He has a mountain of documents that if he declassified Andrew McCabe, Comey, Strzok, McCabe, I said McCabe, all of them, Clapper, Brennan, all of them, well, and then they're all gonna, most of them or all of them are gonna be indicted. That McCabe is like one, he is very close to being indicted. Comey and Strzok, and I explained in my Federalist article below. Share that below in the Federalist. And also share my segment that's over 200,000 views now regarding Clinton getting indicted eventually. I read a Daily Beast article. She shipped a laptop, a physical laptop in the mail. U.S. Postal Service. And no problem there. No, I'm serious. She shipped a laptop in the mail with classified intelligence. No, I am serious. No, I am serious. She shipped a laptop in the mail. USPS, we don't know. Even so, I am sickened at the extent and pervasiveness of dishonesty and misdirection by individuals in the highest office of the land, including the president. I am also appalled that, among other things, fellow citizens working in a campaign for president welcomed help from Russia. Welcomed help from Russia. We have no clue if Russia was behind anything. We have zero clue. All we know is there are Facebook ads that were seen, majority of them were seen after the election. We have zero clue. We are relying on a CrowdStrike assessment. The entire foundation for this nonsense is an analysis of DNC servers conducted by a company outsourced by, you guessed it, Clinton and Democrats. So Trump knows this. He has to deal with this nonsense because people believe it. Well, everyone agrees. Who cares? A conversation about who's better, LeBron or Kobe, or LeBron or Jordan, has more merit than Russia. There's more evidence to say that Jordan is better than LeBron. If I said Michael Jordan was better than LeBron James, end of story, and that's it, the evidence shows it. That is actually more relevant to life and reality than Russia interfered in the election. They did not interfere in the election. There were Facebook ads nobody saw, and nobody utilized to change their vote. Political advertising bolsters pre-existing biases. The imbeciles on the left don't get that. I am also appalled that, among other things, fellow citizens welcomed help from Russia. It's like, they're like, he asked Russia to hack her server. Well, her servers should never have been outside the U.S. government. Number one. Number two, just because you yell out into the ether in a speech or yell out in the microphone, hey, this country, do this, doesn't mean you are actually, you're not culpable for anything that country does if you simply just yell out. Or let's say you're eating lunch and you say, oh gosh, I wish that France would, do this. And then the country engages in that course of action. You're not responsible for that. The Democrats the logic is like they have no moral logic. Everything is like the schoolyard, middle school, like, you said this, and then me, oh yeah. And they have no rational thought anymore. They're still, I love the people who are like, I'm waiting to see what the Mueller report says. Oh, you intellectual buffoon. Really? Okay, now that we have the Mueller report and there was no evidence of anything, no obstruction, certainly no collusion, now what do you think? Well, after having seen the evidence, not evidence, it's a dossier basically, it's a report. He went to Kinko's or Office Depot and it was 400 pages. After having seen the evidence, I can only conclude that there is obstruction of justice. What obstruction? This was a lawful probe from the United States government, and he obstructed it. How did he do so? Because Comey said he said a lot of bad things. Yeah, Comey said. Because Michael Cohen said he did this. So what? Someone said something about Trump. So what? Well, he fired Comey. The IG report makes the case to fire Comey. He was insubordinate. Look up the definition, Democrat. Well, this was an investigation for the future of our country. No, it wasn't. It was purchased essentially by Clinton. By the way, she's running again. Please just formally announce already. Biden, the hair sniffer, is going to announce next week, allegedly. So, and that'll pave the way for Clinton because they're basically going to be like, wait a second, we have Bernie Sanders, Trump, and Biden. 3 older men. 3 pale older men. Look how pale they are. Who do we have as Oh, it's Hillary to the rescue. She's a younger woman. There you go. That's what they're after. But I am also appalled. Okay, so including, and none of them acted to inform American law enforcement. Inform American law enforcement? They were all set up. Are you kidding me? What was he supposed to do? Oh yeah, I'm having a meeting with a Russian lawyer. Please, FBI. They were already being investigated. All their communication was caught. Their Manafort, Flynn, Carter Page, Papadopoulos, all their phones were tapped. Trump was caught on incidental communication, as was everyone around him. They found absolutely nothing. The guy is like crystal clean. And that the campaign chairman was actively promoting Russian interests in Ukraine. What? Are you kidding me? Clinton's campaign chairman's brother was doing the same thing. Clinton there's an actual criminal investigation into Clinton in the Ukraine. Reading the report, because of election interference, reading the report is a sober revelation of how far we have strayed from the aspirations. Oh, yes. Let's see. The Contra scandal. The Bush administration. Oh, yeah. Fast and Furious. And the Clinton email debacle, which is the biggest scandal in U.S. history. Destruction of an African nation in Libya, which is what Clinton and Obama's legacy is all about. Let's talk about our aspirations and principles of the founders. Oh, the founders. Mittens needs to listen to Clapper in March of 2017. Here's James Clapper.
Does intelligence exist that can definitively answer the following question: whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials?
We did not include any evidence in our report, and I say our, that's NSA, FBI, and CIA with my office, the Director of National Intelligence, that had any reflection of collusion between members of the Trump campaign and the Russians. There was no evidence of that included in our report.
There was no evidence included in the report prior to a report that we just read. The ODNI and DHS reports already stated there was no evidence. So why did we need a special counsel? You have these disingenuous hacks on the left saying, well, we learned so much. You can hear as James Comey again if you don't believe me.
Does intelligence exist
or James Clapper
can definitively answer the following question: whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials?
We did not include any evidence in our report, and I say our, that's NSA, FBI, and CIA with my office, the Director of National Intelligence, that had any reflection of collusion between members of the Trump campaign and the Russians. There was no evidence of that included in our report.
This is March of 2017. There was already no evidence, but they investigated anyway for 2 years. This was a political this is an extension of the Democratic Party and partisans and loyalists. And Mitt Romney is too stupid to realize that he is furthering he thinks that the Republican establishment benefits from this. The Republicans are harmed by this. Like, their calculus, his reasoning is completely warped. The Jeff Flake, Mitt Romney, McCain, Paul Ryan, they don't get it. I'm not a Trump supporter now after having voted for Jill Stein because I like Republicans. I'm a Trump supporter because I want peace between North and South Korea. I want to bring home Americans from counterinsurgency conflicts. I want a great economy. I want 500,000 plus manufacturing jobs. I want prison reform legislation. These are all things that Obama did not achieve. I want someone to fight back against very corrupt intel chiefs. President Trump fights. Bernie Sanders takes a dive with not even after the bell of the first round, ding, and then he just flop. Doesn't fight. You cheat Trump. You try to go after him. He will gnaw at your cranium until he gets to the brain. He is not to be messed with. Trump is not the guy to mess with. Mittens is the establishment. And I don't know what it is. I have no clue why establishment Republicans feel that they can do without Trump. The only reason the Republican Party has any influence now is because of President Trump, not because of Mittens or Ryan or anyone else. And then Chuck Todd goes on, well, if it happened.
I understand that, but does it exist?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge. So he doesn't even know of any Trump-Russia collusion, yet they still investigated it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was in March of 2017 before the special counsel. We already knew there was no evidence. And they're going to lose miserably in 2020. Absolutely miserably with Clinton again. All of this is a farce, a sham, just like the Trump-Russia investigation. She's going to run again. Give me your thoughts. Check out my Federalist article. Share that everywhere. It's in the pinned comment. It's also in the description. Why Comey, Strzok, and McCabe will be charged with a specific statute that I explain. Share that everywhere. That article will be prescient, as was my 2015 writing on why Clinton loses to Trump. My Patreon is below if you want to support my voice long term in the pinned comment. Thank you very much. Share this segment everywhere. Poor Mittens is sickened. Oh my God. This is really, really a sad day.